Yes, you have given me the clap once again.
Oh my God. Okay. Of course, that's where we go live. Right on that comment. I don't know if it got cut off or not. But of course.
Anybody that caught that knows automatically what they bought into. I feel no remorse for them.
And if you didn't know, because it's an audio podcast, what we do is we record each other's sessions and then I splice them together because I'm an audio
wizard.
I'm picky. I'm very picky about my audio. I want it to sound good. So we each record our own audio, and then to unify it, we all clap at the same time or close to the same time. That allows me to line it up perfectly, and then I can just start editing from there. That's the curtain being pulled back. Sorry, I'm a few beers in.
Pay no attention to the man behind the. And about that point, he should have just given it up. The wizard wasn't a very bright fellow. I mean, I don't care if he was a doctor or a snake oil salesman or whatever.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a very important man, I guess, in Kansas. But as soon as a 12-year-old in the movie, 12-year-old girl finds out who's actually behind the entire Wizard of Oz shenanigans, yeah, he should have just been like, all right, you got me here. Slippers, do what you want.
All right, little girl, just take this and don't hurt me and leave my family alone. Get off my yard. Get out of my crystal palace.
I'm not a giant noggin. Sorry about the ruse. I'm old and they don't respect old people in Oz. Anyway, what is it you're drinking there?
What am I drinking? I am drinking Orange Blossom Pilsner. This is one of my favorite beers. It's a local beer. It's infused with honey. It's basically wheat, honey, and orange peel and goodness. I like it.
It'd have to be. I'm assuming it's a reference to OBT, Orange Blossom Trail.
Actually, it does not say OBT. It says just Orange Blossom. I don't know where exactly they brew out of. I imagine it's somewhere. Oh, Lakeland, Florida. Cool. Hey,
Lakeland. Okay.
Theme Park Rob is in the chat. All right.
It probably shouldn't be on Orange Blossom Trail because there would be a little bit more than just orange peels and hops and shit in there.
Needles.
Yeah, we're all.
I can taste the chlamydia.
Meanwhile,
it has a cinnamon and ginger taste to it.
The brewmaster's like, I thought we took care of the chlamydia taste. What the hell, man? Anyway, yeah, we're all drinking.
Orlando jokes. I love it.
Yeah, keeping it nice and regional.
Nice
and, yeah.
This is perfect for if you're listening to the audio podcast. Awesome.
Mornings might be good for coffee and contemplation, but early evenings are great for Kahlua and Coke. And if I poured some creamer into this would be called a Colorado Bulldog, which if Jay's listening to this, he's probably like retching in the back of his throat right now.
Oh God, I've never heard of that.
No, it's actually pretty good. I kind of got used to these. I told you before the podcast going on that like Chipotle is kind of putting the hurting on me right now, so I needed something to just turn it down a little bit. Because I don't know, I'll be feeling that in about 2 hours anyway. So it's just like right now.
Hopefully, we only go for an hour.
Right, but
no guarantees.
Yeah, either way, you're not going to be around to experience what happens 2 hours from now after I've hit the Chipotle event horizon. Anyway, so I wanted this.
That Mount Doom.
You just pog-faced at that.
I gave the theme park new face.
We never really gave
the stuff you miss out when you don't watch the live feed.
We never gave a name to because we took like a freeze of your face from a past podcast where I was like sitting next to you and I said something, whatever. I said something that I typically say, yeah. And then you had a face on that was just like that. So we cut it out and then we turned it into like a Slack emoticon, and you just kind of did the same thing. Now, nice. I know that like Twitch has a lock in the whole Pog Face IP or whatever. We never gave your version of it an actual name.
Do we need to?
I don't know. Bob Face, I guess.
The new male smile
No. If it was that, I'd be like launching this drink in my lovely dinner all over this camera, and you wouldn't be able to see me. I'd be doing that, except there would be output.
There's gonna be a lot of that tonight.
So yeah, this is a Coke and Kahlua, and I know that like the sound of it, like a lot of other like concoctions that involve Coke that you wouldn't think would involve Coke, sounds kind of nauseating. But it's like I'm pretty convinced by this point that like anything soda-ish or coconut tasting, coconut like not coconuts,
No, I got the Coke and nut.
Coke nut, right? I think it goes pretty much well with anything because peanuts and Coke, well, that's a shoe-in, and that's kind of a regional thing too. But
that's a very southern thing. Oh, Theme Park Rob, if you're still in the chat, let us know if you've ever heard of peanuts and Coke because you're from. I think you said you're from Cincinnati. If I'm correct, I'm probably wrong. Stop, please correct me if I am. But have you ever heard of peanuts and Coke? Corey, continue. Sorry.
Up there, they might have because when I started working at the one place that I worked up here before a couple of years ago, I was talking about this with a friend, and one of the directors comes in who's from here. And he's like, oh, shit, I used to have peanuts and Coke all the time. And it's apparently like the beverage of choice for when you're sitting on concrete stairs. And I never knew that. So it's either concrete stairs, eroding dock that leads into Lake Okeechobee, similar, I guess, vibes or whatever. So there's peanuts and Coke. And then there's another one that I'm surprised that actually not more people are into, which is milk and Coke. Because you hear that and you're like, Coke. Right. So
okay, I'm not disgusted, but at the same time, I'm okay. Continue.
Well, you've had dairy and Coke before. Here's the thing: everybody has. If you've ever had an ice cream float that melted, you've had the end of that. Good point. That's milk and Coke. So whenever somebody's, I think it's just the idea of it being described as such that's alien to people. Like I remember telling Jay about this once. He was like, "Oh, that's gross." And I'm like, "Have you ever had a float?" And he goes, "Yeah." Oh, you dick! Ooh. You got
they did that on Laverne and Shirley. Milk and Coke on Laverne and Shirley. Okay. I didn't know that.
Really? They used to do it on there? Or because it's kind of a period piece, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Wisconsin, it kind of makes sense. They put dairy into everything.
No shit. Well, let me see. Now, are we actually getting chat in here? Because I can't see it.
We're getting a little bit. We got Theme Park chiming in a few times, but
there it is. Okay, cool. All right, but we're not sitting here talking about cold beverages because I am not G-Love and you are not Special Sauce unless you lead a double life that I don't know about.
I don't know what you're referencing, but I'll go with it.
Really, the song "I Love Cold Beverages"? You never heard that?
Maybe I have. I mean, I'm an audio guy. I probably came across it a few times, especially maybe at a red light. I don't know.
Well, you know what the song's about, and I guess now you know who
it's
sang
about
it.
Hitler.
Yes, and the and his secret bunker and very final toast to his wife.
All right, we're almost 10 minutes in. I should probably explain. You are listening to the Cretins Guild podcast. And we're
hold the fuck
92.
on. I want to do an impersonation of Hitler drinking a Colorado Bulldog. It's Coke and it's Kahlua. What is there not to like? Oh, I am going to kill us both now, pal. There we go. We're done.
You see, I've had just enough beer tonight. Plural beer. Where almost anything is going to be funny. So we're in store for that kind of night. We are episode 92 of the Cretins Guild podcast. We are parts of the Podfix Network.
Until tonight.
Somehow. You know what? I don't think they'll kick us out no matter what we do. We've joked about Hitler before. We've talked about Nazi-inspired wrestling belts.
Dude, where do you think was this podcast's low point? And I realize that's a hell of a conversation to try to tempt. So I'll try not to walk too far into that muck. But I mean, I thought it was like everyone touches upon Nazis at some point. It's like a comedian's, Godwin. Everybody's got to do it. I've known a very few podcasts though that have ever ventured into Harlequin baby territory. So that's my vote. I mean, but that's because not a lot of people know what that is to begin with, and
Yeah,
if you don't want to ruin, if you don't want to ruin your night, don't fucking look it up.
Well, you know the rule: when you tell somebody not to look something up, the first thing to do, they look it up.
All right. Well,
Harlequin baby, don't Google it.
Don't look up rotten.com either. Definitely don't do that.
Just don't do it in general.
Right. Yes.
But we are part of the Podfix network, and their slogan, the slogan that we like to give them, Podfix like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they endorse that, but we're going to go with it anyway. So, Corey, what do you want to start with tonight?
For one thing, let's make a salient observation here, or maybe like an admission, even if so, because we'll ask Jay about this the next time he's on. I think he actually ditches sometimes just so he can hear us do this shit on purpose. He's just like sitting at home right now, kind of like staring up at the ceiling with his hands pyramided like this, like
not just like pinching the brow of his nose, going
no. This is his cocaine. He doesn't like take any. He doesn't
Scarface.
take any shame into listening what we do when he is gone, and I think that's why he kind of like plays Teacher Duty Day every once in a while, just so he can like, this is us watching Watership Down.
Oh God. Whoa.
So
the original version too. You need to let your kids watch that.
Yeah, the animated one, the one that looks, marketable.
Well, the second one was animated as well. Was there a non-animated version?
Wow. That'd be a hell of a trick to pull off. I don't think there was. But
yeah. Oh wow, the amount of animal abuse in that.
I don't know. The balls on the director that thinks that they could probably get away with it. That might be Terry Gilliam. Come to think of it, if it ever did happen.
You know what? Yeah, Terry Gilliam. Or
he's right.
Del Toro.
Yeah. Oh. Damn. He would.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. He fucking would.
And he had said it in Spain. Where did the movie took place in England, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So he would just move it.
Yeah. I mean, full disclosure, I barely remember the first one, which is kind of remarkable, to be honest.
I remember the parts that you can't forget.
Yeah. I think it might have been because, like, at the time, I had seen that, and I saw Secret of Nim in close proximity. And for whatever reason, my brain plays that, like, sideways Mandela where scenes from one get transposed. Yeah. Oh, my God. But people think like in more softer terms about Nim, but there's that sequence in the middle of it where like the rat's getting shot, stuck in the stomach with the needle, and it's being like doing that shit. Which, sorry again if you're just listening to this.
That's really the worst part of the movie. The rest of it's kind of tame compared to other Don Bluth movies.
I don't know. Nicodemus was kind of was a mind fuck. That was the older owl, right? Mr. Nicodemus.
Oh yeah.
He was like he's introduced and he's covered in cobwebs and his eyes are like shining right at the viewer.
He's like twisting his head.
That left a bit of an impression, yeah, but it's not Watership Down. And the latest one is CG with an all-star cast of the BBC's finest. So I'd assume that by extension it does take place in England.
Angelica Huston.
Anyway.
Houston.
Angelica
she's not
Houston
even English.
No, she's not.
She is
not very much.
Not.
Which is kind of funny because she was kind of like in the market for like playing fake British back in the day.
Oh yeah. That didn't turn out so well.
So probably a lot of people that are like, you ready for a good segue? Played a lot of Marvel villains.
Hey, that reminds me. I just watched the series on Hulu. You probably get a kick out of. It's called MODOK.
I was interested. I'm not saying that like I'm no longer interested because the trailer came out, but I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet because I love dragging my heels on shit, and that's how I do things.
I've come to expect it.
Did you know that Oswalt was actually he wrote a companion comic to the series as well, and that just came out. I took a trip over to Graham Crackers up the way a little bit.
Is
Graham
that
Crackers
a confectionery?
Comics. Actually, I want to show you. I want to show you what I got there really quick. Don't worry, we won't derail too much.
Oh, okay. We're good.
It's right here. Is that Monty Python intermission music?
He didn't even have to take off his headphones.
No, I did not, because there's a table like right back there. Did you know that DC? I'm pretty sure we mentioned this once or twice, but DC did something pretty interesting with their Hanna-Barbera IP. Did you know about
didn't
this?
know they had Hanna-Barbera IP.
Well, now you do.
I didn't know DC owned it.
Well, Warner Brothers owns it, and they own DC.
By proxy, DC owns it, yeah. Or is partnered with it.
I think at one time it was just all fell underneath the AOL umbrella because it was Hanna-Barbera was owned by Warner Brothers, and DC was also owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers was owned by AOL, and everybody's just jerking each other off in the boardroom, and you know how that goes. Anyway,
oh boy, we're not Disney. All right, yeah.
This is the worst stockholders meeting I've ever been in. You guys are just giving each other hand jobs. You know how we do things up in New York. Deep throat. Anyway.
Reach around.
Reach around.
You Midwesterner fucks don't know what you're doing in an orgy.
That's only on earnings calls. What a fucking mess this show is. Anyway, so
almost at 100.
Yeah, I just showed Bob a couple of trade paperbacks for the Flintstones series that DC put out, I think like last year or the year before, and it was basically like what they wanted to do with the Hanna-Barbera stuff was to like was all revisionist stories. So like Scooby-Doo, for whatever reason, takes place in like the apocalyptic wasteland, and Snagglepuss is great. That's the next one I'm going to get if they have it there next time. Snagglepuss was like this I don't know, this kind of like Sunset Boulevard-ish kind of a biopic about Snagglepuss, where he's like, where it's like talking
behind
about
the
his
music
struggles.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, except it's examining his struggles as a gay cartoon character, and it's utterly like delicious high concept shit, and that's kind of like where they went with Flintstones, because you'll notice here that they're not drawing them exactly as exactly like model sheet correct, right?
Yeah. It doesn't look like the 60s Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, it's like
Fred Flintstone.
It's like somewhere between realistic exaggeration.
It's like a mix between the animated and John Goodman.
Yeah, right. Though they draw them like according to how you would like verbally describe Fred Flintstone or Wilma or any of those, any of the characters. But they're
like you're explaining it to a conceptual artist.
Right, except that conceptual artist only does like mostly photoreal stuff, so then that's what you get as a result. And Steve Pugh is the artist on it. Whatever gets me out of
jury duty, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever gets me to the bar before everybody else gets there. Here you go. Ship it. Anyway, so the Flintstones is basically this writer's stab at creating social satire, and it deals with topics like the taboo behind being monogamous instead of polygamous and stuff like that. And it's
cavemen do.
It's effing hilarious. And I fucking forgot how we got onto like comics. Oh, right. Because you're talking about villains in DC and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, more a point. I was talking about MODOK and how it's done. But once you watch the trailer,
right,
you have a really good understanding of the entire season of 10 episodes.
Right.
It's very Robot Chicken-esque. It's got some parts where it's really funny and parts that are just freaking hilarious. Like, did you know it's okay to beat up babies as long as they're demons?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you? I mean, there's at least. It's not like demons, but I'm pretty sure it's like parenthetical to that point. There's at least two zombie movies that I can cite as evidence, and it's all in the name of survival, or maybe the zombie demon baby just had it coming. One was the great thing about this. Oh, go ahead.
The great thing about this series is the window that it gives to all the minor Marvel villain characters, which for the longest time, like DC had like a really good grasp. Like we have the best minor villains. Like there's Polka Dot Man and Calendar Man and
dude. Bruce Timm turned the Clock King into a legitimate badass on Batman, the animated series. You remember that?
Like there's some elevations with some characters.
Yeah.
I'm still the Condiment King. He's kind of like, okay, buddy, you're
not
trying.
So much you can do there. Yeah, I know. And not without with like some like a severe image makeover. But DC's always been kind of open about its Mort gallery. You know.
Yeah, they've been very proud about their C list.
Yeah, Marvel is kind of like they kind of like begrudge themselves even their B-listers. It seems like, because there's sometimes like the Civil War situation where they just put like, you know, their major cast against their major cast, and they kind of, I'm not going to call Daniel Bruhl an unknown, but he was not as famous as he was at the time until he got Baron Zemo, or who was Zemo in that movie. Right. He didn't become Baron Zemo until this year.
Yeah.
But that was like it. It's like anybody who's read Marvel knows a Baron Zemo. So how come you're kind of like telling him to stand in the background for a little bit, when I know it's a weird image to try to sell casual audiences, you know, having a purple ski mask over your face and shit, which is something they barely got away with in revealing him recently. I'll give them that much.
You know, that's the sign that you're evil, is when you're wearing spring colors during wintertime.
Oh, of course, yeah. Mauve and wool, that's just bad.
You're just asking for trouble at that point.
That's tacky, yeah. I mean, that's deserving at least of a fist to the face, if not like an adamantium shield or optic blasts or claws. Wolverine is a fashion nugget, and you do not want to piss him off. Anyway.
So do you have a favorite minor Marvel villain?
Minor Marvel villain. I have to run down like everybody that Deadpool's ever killed for a laugh. I mean, there are a couple of people.
I always liked Purple Man. So when he was like the feature in Jessica Jones, I thought that was a really nice touch. Like, wow, they're taking this guy and they're making him the baddie. All right, cool.
Yeah. They did him mostly proper until they like started poking fun at his like last name, thinking that it was, or making it apparent that it was adopted. When I actually do know people with Kilgrave as the last name, it's just, you know, the Anglicans have some really fucked up surnames.
Yeah.
That was really cool how they made him like a bona fide threat, but there are also a couple of instances, because it was Jessica Jones, where his character was like handled a little bit unevenly. There were some episodes where he was like coming off as like, you know, a bit of a bitch, and it was
a bit
weird.
of a whiny twat.
He's a bit of a big girl's blouse, that Kilgrave. And then like in the next episode, he like causes Carrie Ann Moss's girlfriend to like cut her with a thin razor 1,000 times, and I'm like, is this the guy that's really like pissing his pants over like an ex in the last episode? Huh.
Yeah, the writing was probably the weakest part of that show. The rest of it was pretty damn good, and the writing was it was good for the most part, I would say.
I liked the bulk of it. It was just that every once in a while you're like, well, that writer's room must have been decentralized because somebody's not talking to somebody else.
Somebody's getting notes from the network here.
Yeah, and if you remember the Purple Man from like the Marvel Encyclopedia or the Marvel Universe books, he's like, that guy he's purple. He had some pretty evil powers, like when Abnett and Lanning involved him in the Heroes for Hire stories back in like the 2000s. Yeah, he was also legit there. He's still purple, and everybody still called him the Purple Man. How you doing, perps? You're gonna get somebody to kill themselves? That's just great. You're purple. I don't know, man. I could be cheap and drop a Dr. Bong from Howard the Duck, because that one book is responsible for, I'm pretty sure, a large quotient of the Mort populace in the MC or in the Marvel universe. But let's think about some other ones.
Spot?
Who the fuck is the Spot? Oh, wait a minute. No, that was the guy from in Daredevil. He was in a recent issue of the Daredevil or the
He
Wade
might have been
Daredevil
in
run.
Daredevil. I know he was a New York area, which they all seem to be. I know he had a lot of things with Spider-Man, but he was the guy that could create dimensional voids, so you could just reach right through. Or were they portals? What exactly were they?
No, he was like a living singularity or something like that. And I actually read that that issue, that Daredevil issue, a couple of weeks ago. Well, how did Matt get rid of him? He caused him to like eat himself somehow.
Oh yeah, he like imploded into like blah.
Yeah, but up till that point, yeah, he was just like wrecking havoc all over the mob, and it was like, ugh, this guy's kind of frightening. Man, it's just that no Marvel villains are coming to me right now, except for like some deeply more horrific stooges, like Blackheart.
Let me ask you:
piece of crap.
Would like Super Skrull, would he be considered a minor villain, or is he like more of the upper echelon, but not exactly the main eventers?
He was big with Fantastic Four, but Fantastic Four has always had a bit of a realism problem, even in comics. So I don't know. He's one of those you know how you can tell that like a certain writer is kind of hitting a wall when they come up with a negative character.
Yeah.
Like,
let's just make him Skrull, and he's got all the Fantastic Four's powers.
He's got all the Fantastic Four's powers. Yeah, that's basically what Amazo, the amazing android from the Justice League. Same modus, different I don't know, theoretical genetics. So it's just whatever. Okay, you're duping your audience and yourself.
Aren't we due to see Taskmaster soon in something?
We are.
Oh.
And apparently the MCU is already cognizant of that. Yeah, I don't know. He's supposed to show up in Black Widow, isn't he?
I don't know. Is he?
That's the deal. I mean, okay. You know how Lego loves spoiling them some movies, right?
Oh, Lego.
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I did.
No,
think
that's
of
not Con in the Darkness.
I'm gonna mention somebody that up until last year was a bit of a mort, but he was kind of a B-lister. He was also kind of morally ambiguous, but I think he's out of the running now because this is one of the few times that Marvel has done, I don't want to say a villain, but an antagonist right, for the most part, was U.S. Agent.
Oh.
Right. And
I wasn't sure what side of the spectrum he's on. Is he like an anti-hero, or is he more villain? What is he in the comics?
You know how Marvel's not really too clear on the moral inclinations of Venom once he became a popular character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it became like the Lethal Protector, which is just basically like an excuse to, sell his own comic. U.S. Agent. Now, the funny thing is that like our resident U.S. Agent expert is not here with us today, so we get speculation. Yeah. This is the barter. All right. Here's me speculating. Back in the 80s, he was a little bit nastier than he was on the show.
Oh, really?
Because he was trying to. Cap was having a bit of a crisis of conscience in the conscience. Blah. What's in this drink?
Words are hard. Chug.
I am not chugging that. We're gentlemen on this podcast. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Damn, I had a burp lined up for that shit. All right, anyway. Now, Cap was pulling him a Shawn Michaels and went off to go find himself. And U.S. Agent at the time was known as Super Patriot, with him and Battlestar, who the show did do character correct. Now the thing was that like at the time, Super Patriot was trying to put stink all over Cap so that he would be grandfathered into his a new standing as actual Captain America.
Right.
Sorry, I'm doing such a poor job explaining this. But when Cap came back,
came back the very next day. It's gonna be that kind of night, guys. You knew he was a goner.
We thought he was a nomad, but the Cap came back. Shield couldn't stay away. So yeah, Cap returns, and he went like full on homicidal with him, and tried to get rid of him. But people loved him some U.S. agent, as it turned out, and therefore turned him into an anti-hero, or at least somebody who like reformed or became a little less evil. They like Jack flagged him, which is another one.
Oh, okay. What was Captain America when he gave up the mantle of the title of Captain America? What he went by something else, didn't he, for a little while?
Yeah. Now somebody's gonna probably correct me on this, but well, fuck it, we can look it up. I believe that was his nomad years, where he just basically rode around the country on a motorcycle. Now, give me 1 second.
It's not that important. It was more of a wandering thought. But you were mentioning like all because there's also like it's funny how like all these other countries have their own Captain America. Like there's I'm thinking of the Captain Britain, which that's a goofy ass story.
Captain Britain's kind of his own thing, though, isn't he? He's like he's like a resurrection, or at least a re-embodiment of King Arthur or some silly shit.
Yeah, he's got some King Arthur like connection, but it's like Merlin brought him back to life or something like that, something along those lines.
With superpowers and in a leotard, because that's what gets the eyeballs. not just hey, this is King Arthur, remember him?
Why is he in spandex?
I need a little bit more. Yeah, it's not coming to me. The face, the name, I don't know. You might as well just rebrand the shit out of him. Seriously, put him on a box of Wheaties.
It's all about branding these days. Come on.
Exactly, and you know what the leotard does. We need to see the package and all that stuff. The hard sell. The hard sell is what the company wants. And
cod pieces. We need cod pieces. We need to sell them at Walmart every day.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now bring Megan in, because if that doesn't do it, then this like. And this like emerald green jolt of cheesecake ought to send the deal straight down for a line drive. That was a very weird series. I mean, it was an Alan Moore thing originally, wasn't it? No. It was
it would make sense if it was.
I think it was Warren Ellis. I'm pretty sure. But even then,
and there was like a Canadian version as well, and it's like almost it's like. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Mexican version of Captain America.
El
Salvador. No, I'd better stop.
I'm not super savvy on other not subcultural versions of Cap, because it's kind of like a.
I'm sure there's a What Culture video on it somewhere. I'll have to watch it at some point.
Good. Drive them to that channel so that people can find out. I do know that like. They've recently announced that there was going to be a Native American version of Captain America. And I thought that was a pretty interesting take on.
Really?
It. Yeah.
Okay.
The costume's a bit rich, but then again, so is most traditional NA iconography. So you can't really hold that against the character design.
As long as it's not insulting, I guess is what they should go for.
See, that's what people fighting about. But I thought it was a pretty cool idea, because if there's anything that Captain America has been kind of shifty about avoiding, it's acknowledging the roots of the country of whose name he is adopted as.
Natural domain.
As nomenclature, right? Yeah, I mean they can like delve into. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on this. World War II. Black pilots.
The Tuskegee Airmen.
The Tuskegee Airmen. Yeah, they dove into similar origins for the Captain America project, and that was a pretty cool story. So why wouldn't they do the same thing for what came before actual America? I don't know. Somebody did. It hasn't.
Captain
I don't
Pilgrim.
Now, see, that would be his equivalent of U.S. agent, because he's trying to take over. Get it? Yeah. Okay. Funny. No, I don't think it's kicked off in the comics proper yet, so I don't really know how it's going for Marvel. But I thought it was a pretty cool concept, and I hope it's actually handled well, because comic book writers kind of touch and go when it comes to heavy hitting topics.
Yeah, it's
a little bit, you know.
They pretty much stay on the job till they get fired.
Right, where they
you had mentioned
off the chair.
Yeah. Last time you had mentioned that you wanted to talk a little about Falcon and Winter Soldier. What was there like anything in particular you wanted to point out?
I think we did touch upon it a little bit, but mostly what I wanted to what I wanted to mention it for. And I'll leave the bulk of the Disney Plus chat to when Jay comes back, because there's been a lot of content to go over. Fuck, I hate that word. But
some of it I'm really looking forward. I cannot wait for Loki and What If. Those look like they're going to be incredible to me. Especially
I haven't heard
What
that
If.
much. I haven't heard that much about What If. Give me the skinny.
The only thing I can really tell you is it's all going to be animated, and it's going to be a whole bunch of, I think, 6 to 8 or maybe even 10 episodes of what if stories. Like, what if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum and not Steve Rogers? That kind of scenario. I'm sure there's other stories, but they're all going to be standalone episodes, I believe. Like all 6 of them or whatever.
Was there going to be any sort of a narrative framing or some sort of a common element between all of them, or is it going to be kind of like a strictly anthology-driven show?
I think it's going to be kind of like if you've ever seen on Netflix Love, Death, and Robots, which season 2 just started. It's kind of like that, where every episode is like a standalone thing where what if Wolverine was from Peru? I don't know, that kind of thing. Actually, I kind of want to see that. This alpaca's not going fast enough, bub.
What if Iron Man was slightly more alcoholic?
He'd be dead.
That's one thing I'm always disappointed they never went. Well, I guess the comics did it well enough, but the movies never. They never delve into the whole demon in a bottle thing to any sort of like length, and that's a little cheap to me.
Not to the limit that we were expecting, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, what we were expecting was like Tony, like half in the bag, wearing the armor and staring into a mirror with a 5 o'clock shadow. That's I don't know if like RDJ had that written out of his contract or something, but that's a pretty big part of his legacy, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's literally a mirror to his own life and like what he has gone through himself.
Exactly. Okay, so what if? I mean, I'm always down for like anthology episodes. That's pretty cool. And it also gives like a lot of like people in the writers'
very
room,
like Outer Limits ish.
Now that'd be the shit. But something tells me they aren't going to push too many envelopes with it. Unfortunately, it is corporate icons.
Not so much that where it's like Twilight Zone. Ooh, the storyline gets spun around like this.
Yeah,
I think it's. I really hope it's more of like an interesting spin. Like say, Black Widow learns archery and becomes better than Hawkeye. And I don't know, stuff like that, nonsense like that.
You know, I think the comics actually did gloss over that. Oh, hold on a second. The drinks are stopping by for a visit. Hang on.
Perfect.
There we go.
There it is.
Sorry. All right, you can go now. Bye.
Yeah.
But the other one was MODOK. Loki. Right.
Loki.
So this is going to be the next one to drop.
Yep,
Owen
very
fucking
soon.
Wilson's in it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Loki meets Time Cops, kind of go back in time and fix mistakes kind of situation. I've seen a couple of trailers and I still have no idea what's going on. It's kind of like Doctor Who almost.
I think wow, somebody's living out a fantasy. Probably a lot of Tumblr blogs once they heard about that too. What I believe that they're doing is basing it off of Al Ewing's Loki series from like 2013, 2014, where he is basically doing just that. There's 2 Lokis in existence. There's like the old cranky bad guy Loki, and they actually made this clear in the comics. And then there's like the Loki that they were trying to market as Tom Hiddleston in the comics. This is your younger, more handsome, and more charismatic Loki. Probably doesn't leer too long at the school bus. And his idea or his thing was that he was conscripted by some gods, whatever, I don't forget what their names were, to go and participate in these missions where he has to go and like steal Mercury's shoes or some, things like that. I like, even for the MCU, I kind of thought that was like a bit of a tall order, but apparently they're just going on with it. And in order to like punctuate that mindset, here's Owen Wilson, who hasn't been in anything in like 10 years. And I haven't even seen the trailer. I knew who it was by looking at the poster and recognizing that one of the actors has a jacked up nose.
Through the picture, you could hear the wow.
Yeah, wow, gosh. These guns are really weird. Anyway, we don't need to be doing that.
It looks like it could be really good. It could be goofy as hell. We don't know. Odds are, given the last 2 series, it's probably going to be really good.
It's WandaVision was watchable up to a point, and then after that point, it became, oh, damn it.
Oh, really? What was the breaking point for you? I am curious about this.
The breaking point for me was when they had Evan Peters show up, because I was like,
really?
That's not Quicksilver. That is not Quicksilver, and they're going to try to get away with it. And then they got away with it, and I'm like,
what do you mean get away with it?
Trying to sell people on the fact that Wanda was going to accept this complete stranger who just happens to have her dead brother's set of hyperspeed abilities, doesn't even look like the guy, doesn't look like anyone she's ever met. At that point, because of all the other weird shit going on around her that she doesn't even know that she's the cause of, by the way, this is her fucking dead brother.
Well, I'm not going to defend it, but I think they didn't really go into detail about it, but my takeaway was it was a character who was made by Agatha to best resemble both in appearance and ability of her brother Pietro. But I thought that you're gritting your teeth. I can see it.
Then why is the fucking Vision there? He was literally spun out of thin fucking oxygen. What the?
You mean? Oh, right.
No,
I will say the most interesting the most interesting thing about when she opens up that door and she sees Quicksilver standing there. If you turn on the audio assist program for that's not closed captioning, but like it gives out verbal commands for people who are blind. You can hear the narrator say, and there is standing Quicksilver from the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
So they actually pointed out this was not the same continuity.
Yeah, but at that point they were banking on the fans being like, "Oh, they're doing it," and I was sitting there like, they're not fucking doing it. They can't, because she cannot accept this person who is utterly unrecognizable, except for the fact that somebody else, and I mean somebody behind the camera, wants us to believe that she is accepting it. And that's when you break disbelief. Now, I recognize that this is fucking comic books we're talking about here.
Yeah, and at the same time, at some point, she pointed out, this is like, why don't you have your accent? And then she starts questioning who he is, and then it gets to the point where she flat out denies who he is.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, why don't you have yours? And I'm like, oh, God, you think we're idiots, don't you? Oh, fuck. This hurts. And then, like, the big reveal at the end was that it's just some dude, and I'm sitting there in my chair like, I just spent the last 4 episodes letting these dudes pee in my mouth and telling me that it's mellow yellow.
I was disappointed in that reveal. It's like, oh, you couldn't like spin it like some kind of dimensional like Typhoon, or maybe they'll do that with the next Doctor Strange movie. Maybe that's probably the what they'll end up doing there.
It was somebody, the producer, one of the writers, whoever was like, dude, we got to do this. We got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't. I think they way underestimated a lot of their audience, because as soon as I mentioned it to somebody, and I was like talking to somebody at the comic book store about this too, they're like, don't tell me that again. I know. It's comic books. People are flying. There's the Hex. She's hypnotized the entire town. But the thing is that like it doesn't puncture the meta as aggressively as that does, Thank God Captain America and the Winter Soldier was not the same creative team. Because they could have bollocked that up pretty easily, and that's in a roundabout way.
I think it was originally planned to air first.
That one, probably. Wasn't there some sort of? Did that fall victim to the whole COVID production fiasco, or was something else behind it?
No, I think it was. It was planned to air first, and then I think there had something to do with reshoots that they couldn't finish in time, so they decided, okay, we have WandaVision ready to go. Let's just push that out, and since the two have nothing to do with each other, they're not really going to fight with each other continuity wise.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to like cannibalize each other's audiences.
Same people will watch. I'll tell you that much.
Well. Better it was a better watch for me, obviously. But I was wondering, because there was the one episode where they had the disclaimer up at the front of it. I think it was the episode with the cop stop that was in the middle of it. It said, due to real world events, we don't want people to be I forget how they worded it basically. But it was a disclaimer about that particular scene in that particular episode. So I thought it might have been because of
okay, now I know. Right. Yeah, because the original premise behind Falcon and Winter Soldier was there was like a disease going around, and they didn't want it to coalesce so much with reality. So like, okay, let's change. And you could tell if you rewatch they post edited a lot of stuff and took that out and said, okay, it's going to be more about like this rogue group of people who want the world to go back to what it was before the blip.
So the storyline that they eventually went with was the Flag Smasher bit, which was by the way fucking brilliant, because that's one of few shows. I think it's like one of few Marvel properties that have actually done anything halfway intelligent with the whole blip plot point. That was a backup plan.
I believe so, because they were going to go one way, and it's like and then COVID happened. And it's like, okay, let's change some stuff around. Oh, we've got to rework a lot of this. Oh, let's just put out WandaVision. That's safe. Let's go ahead and do that and just fix this while we can.
Wow. Those people are good. Because it was cohesive. Like I didn't have. Like as far as plot lines went, I mean, I kind of saw that Sharon Carter was a power broker. It's like, duh. She's dealing like stolen artwork to people in the second episode. How are we supposed to not assume that somebody is more powerful than her within this underground criminal scene? Yeah. But that was one of the other things too. They finally fucking did something with her. She's just been like, since Winter Soldier,
she's been eye candy the whole time.
She was just there. I know. And I thought that she was like so woefully miscast as that character. I was like, what are you going to be doing with this person? Like if you've ever read Captain America comics, she's actually more a part of the comics mythology than Peggy was. I guess Peggy was like, I don't know, Haley Atwell was more hireable or whatever, or was more recognizable by the time Sharon eventually rolled around. And the way they introduced her was like really whack too. It was kind of nuts, but because they're at her funeral and then they meet, and then in the next movie they're making out on the sly. It's like, oh.
Yeah, is this weird? I don't know. Is this? What do you
That's
think?
Grody.
Is this weird? It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Like, can you imagine Steve Rogers? Like, what if Peggy was still like concurrent with his age at the point that he met Sharon? She's still alive. Peggy says, "Well, here's my granddaughter, Sharon," and then Steve just looks at her and is like, Yeah. All right. We can. Okay.
Man.
Okay.
That had to be an
21st
awkward
century, looking pretty
conversation when
good.
he. That had been an awkward conversation when he went back in time and decided to
No.
stay with her full time. It's like, I made out with your granddaughter. Just kind of happened. We didn't plan on it.
Darling Steve,
we buried you. we put you in the ground. She was there. She was looking pretty nice. I'll say that much.
I mean,
and next
Black
thing I
does
know,
a lot of
it's like
favors.
we're just tongue tonsiling. I was taking her temperature with my tongue. I don't know.
Wow. Oh my God.
So watch out for that when you get. Oh, wait a minute. So if we're gonna hook together, then wait a minute. Did I just make out with my own granddaughter? Possibly. I don't. Oh God. There's a cliff I just jumped off of mentally.
Yep. Thankfully, it was a cliff that has been well explored by Robert Zemeckis, so we don't have to think about it too much. Peggy, I never thought about that till now. I got to tell you something about our granddaughter, Peg. She's a hell of a kisser. Yeah.
Smells great. Soft skin.
They really didn't think that through.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow.
We just discovered who the Marvel Universe is maybe not biggest villain, but biggest douchebag is. And it's Steve.
Oh my God.
Scumbag Steve.
Oh God.
Fuck.
I can't believe we just made this revelation. Possible revelation.
So there's a writer's room at Disney that's going to have a steep fucking come to Jesus moment in their very near future.
Kevin Feige's like, no, stop it. No, stop it. Yeah. No.
Kevin, what about all those commercials from WandaVision?
No!
Yes, I'll address those head on. Just keep sharing away from me. That was the other thing about WandaVision that bugged me was like they never explained those commercials in full. There's a rumor that it involved Doctor Strange, but they kind of dismissed that.
Did they? I thought they were.
Did they dismiss it?
They all had like. I'm not sure. Yeah, they were like ambiguous, but at the same time, they were like hinting at other things in the backgrounds, like, "Hey, this is from Stark Industries" or whatever else they
They kept dropping. They kept name checking Hydra and such. That was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was rumored that was supposed to be Stephen Strange trying to reach Wanda through the boundaries of the Hex in his own mysticism-based Sorcerer Supreme sort of way. Okay. And then they explained it away in one of the most clumsy, unsatisfying rationales, in that they didn't want Wanda to be under the tutelage of another Marvel character, specifically one that was like white and a guy. And I was like, that's a fucking limp dick move if that's true. But as it was,
that completely went over my head.
Yeah, like it's a Kevin Feige quote, so I don't really know if he was just trying to like save face or something about it, but that still leaves that minor plot thread unacknowledged. And it was just another thing. I don't know. A lot about WandaVision seems just so unfinished to me. It was a hell of an idea though, and of course they had the cast. The cast in these things always fucking kill, which brings us full circle back to what we were going to talk about. Which was John Walker. They got one of my more favorite recent actors to take up the mantle. And as it is with any like really talented actor that the MCU conscripts into their, overarching corporate entity. Yes. The big pretzel like
globe, the MCU globe.
That is there is their brightly colored cartoon tights man battle royale. They made him U.S. agent. So I was like, okay, well, I'm getting ready for them to fuck this up too. Because anytime they get like a really talented actor and put him in one of their movies, it ends up being like Lee Pace's shining moment in Guardians being like, what you're doing. And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny because it's Lee Pace and the guy does know how to work with what he's got, but he should have been in at least 20 more minutes of that movie because it's Lee fucking Pace. Now, to their credit, I think they knew that when they got Kurt Russell to be a heavy in one of the movies, they better squeeze as much Kurt Russell out of him as they can. And
squeeze him dry.
Yeah, because that's Kurt fucking Russell. but whoever was in charge of casting for Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I was like, what? Okay, here's one thing. Which title do we go with? It's no longer Falcon Winter Soldier. Do we go with the evolved title or like the? Which one has a trademark? Is what I'm saying.
Is the character?
Yeah, because the next one's obviously going to have to be Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
but if we refer to this season of it, is it just like season 1? Or
I think it's if there is a season 2, you just call it. Yeah, you have to call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, good.
Because he's not, or I don't know, Captain Falcon. Wait a minute, no, I don't think they have the rights to that one.
No, and you can't call it Black Falcon because he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
That was in that one episode. I'm not being the one time I'm not being off color.
No, I got you.
That's pretty fucking funny. Anyway,
yeah.
Right. So straighten the necktie that I'm not wearing. They got Wyatt Russell to be U.S. agent, and I was like, oh shit, they could run a country fucking mile with this if they play their cards right, and they played their fucking cards right. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if there are any spots. They kind of give him a hammy line at one point in the 3rd episode where he's like, they weren't even super soldiers. And I was like, okay, all right. They're trying to make him too sympathetic here, which means that he's going to do something really fucking stupid at the end of the episode. And that was the one where he, sticks himself.
Yeah.
So
I think up to that point, he was kind of, the character was trying too hard. He was like trying to be like this all-American Boy Scout character, but at the same time, I need to get the job done, but these guys are in my way kind of thing. And he came off more, not exactly bureaucratic, but
as a company man, he was.
Yeah.
He was well, not to be too on the nose about it, but he was the United States Tin Soldier for about 2 episodes. And then at the end of the 2nd episode, he says that stay out of my way bit. And I think you brought that up to my attention when we were talking about it at one point. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it just goes to show, don't ever replace a legend. If there's a guy and you have a chance to replace him when he steps down, don't be that guy, because that guy is never going to live up to that standard, and he's just going to get criticized and ridiculed and everything. You want to be the one to replace that guy. That's who you want to replace.
Yeah. But now with the introduction of, I keep wanting to call her Elaine Bennis, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is basically like,
no, call her Elaine,
dude. Every character she plays, except for maybe the exception of Veep. No, she was sarcastic as hell in that too.
She was still Elaine to a little bit.
It's Elaine with varying degrees of aggressiveness, and in this one, she's like Elaine.
It's just Elaine without the thumbs, man.
Yeah, she's Elaine. She's Elaine without the embarrassing stories, because if you found any embarrassing stories about her, she'd kill you. That's basically what her Contessa is in this, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, that's it. So she like oozes into the scene where she's introduced, and I'm like, okay, they're going to start some Dark Avengers shit. That's pretty much obvious. But with this guy as the U.S. agent, they picked the right motherfucker, because you remember seeing him in Overlord. The guy was like the one standout in the entire movie. And not to take anything else away from the rest of the cast, which was fantastic in that movie, I don't remember their names. And that was the one guy that was like, shit, fuck, who is this? And then you see the last name Russell, and you're like, oh, that's why he's playing John McCready. He's basically playing his own dad. But that kind of trick is really hard to pull off if you don't have the charisma for it. And in my opinion, that apple does not fall far from that tree whatsoever. And I'm totally looking forward to that guy heading up his own projects. Now, Being that as it may, we've been introduced to, we've been led to believe that Wanda's going to be part of this thing, right? Scarlet Witch, or as Scarlet Witch, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, proper Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm. We've got a White Vision now.
Now they own the name to it.
Yeah, right. Oh, did they not before? Is that why she was just Wanda up until that point?
Yep. Fox owned the name Scarlet Witch. That's why they couldn't use it.
Yeah, I never thought about that because she's technically a mutant. Or
yeah.
At least in the Fox universe, she was.
No, in the Fox universe, she was a mutant and she was a Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And Fox owned that naming rights. And then Marvel just had the naming rights to the Avengers version of Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah, hence they're given.
That's why they couldn't mention like her dad is Magneto. I can't wait for that to come up at some point.
Oh, they pretty much scrubbed that clean in WandaVision, though, right?
Yeah, they did. They showed her family.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if they're going to retcon that at some point.
It'd be pretty funny if they did. That would be funny. The mom didn't know he was like one of the most wanted global terrorists of all time because they're too busy.
One of the most powerful mutants of all time.
Too busy stuffing their brains with Brady Bunch and Chico and the Man and shit.
Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, that's how Magneto goes into hiding. Like, Dick Van Dyke.
Russia gets plenty of sitcoms, but as far as news goes, tapped dry. None of it.
You know, if I went into hiding, I would use the TV series Coach and Night Court. Maybe Alf. Maybe.
I don't know. Alf might be a bit of a tip-off.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's an exiled alien, isn't he?
Well, yeah, if it was Coach, it would have to be like the first 2 seasons and not the 3rd season when they moved to Orlando.
Right.
Because that's just a dead giveaway right there.
Right, yeah.
God, it's sad I know that.
I don't. Didn't you know anybody that like worked on that when they came down? Oh wait, did they actually shoot location in Orlando for the?
No,
last
they did.
Seasons?
Yeah, they shot in Orlando. Not enough to like actually count because it was just a couple of sound stages. They weren't actually at the Citrus Bowl.
Right.
They were for like 1 or 2 scenes, but you know, it's like, hey, let's get in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, we're done. Okay, move out.
Yeah. Well, they had to work around the Waterboy scheduling in order to make that happen. Okay, so Scarlet Witch, we got U.S. Agent. Who's being teased? I'm not sure Captain America is going to be part of that whole thing because
I don't think so.
No, right. Because he's kind of like a marquee character. And I've read elsewhere that they do have bigger plans for Sam Mackie within the general MCU framework. And that's a busy motherfucker to begin with. Wow. So he's probably not going to be able to do any ensemble shit anytime soon. Yeah. So he's probably not part of that. But where else are we going to go? Loki, shoo-in, of course. It's Tom fucking Hiddleston, and he hasn't been up to much except for like Crimson Peak and High Rise in the last couple of years.
I'm curious to see who we're gonna see during this Loki series. It's like they've got to introduce like somebody new that we haven't seen before, or someone we have seen before a few times. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I'm not laughing at anything.
Okay. We're drunk.
A little bit.
Well, yeah.
Oh shit. Gosh, well, I'm the new Red Skull, you know?
Okay.
I know you're looking at the nose. It's an appliance. I still don't have. It's still just 2 big nostrils on the front of my face.
Why is it that the Red Skull was hunting down the Tesseract, which was the Mind Stone or the Space Stone? Space. Now
Space was blue, right? No, you're the Space Infinity
Stone. Yes,
you're the Gauntlet Scholar.
Down the Space Stone, dude, which was
just look behind you
with because well, that's the comic book, which is a little bit different from the MCU. All right, so Red Skull was hunting down the Tesseract, which was the Space Stone. He finally picks it up with his bare hands. The Space Stone said, fuck you, and it sent him off, and he went to become the guardian of the Soul Stone. How? What? Huh?
What? Because
does the Soul Stone come into the picture?
The Space Stone didn't have any openings, but the Soul Stone did. I mean, it's just basic human resources, you know? whoever, I don't know. Is there any sort of like a governing
HR department?
Yeah, well, was that that was the tribunal, right? Or was it Eternity?
Well, let's see.
Is
It's
the guy
come down to the Red Skull, which is a Nazi Earthbound supervillain. Let's see. We have the High Evolutionary who turns animals into humans. No, he's out.
We don't want him. He's just
genetic manipulation. We don't want that.
Yeah, he's just Dr. Moreau, and he's purple.
Let's go with the Nazi.
Dude. Yeah. Well, somebody that was in charge of it. Yeah, it always comes back to the fucking Nazis, doesn't it?
Well, what is it that the Nazi is the best option?
Who was dead at that point? You had all right, this was Endgame, right? So we're following a linear timeline. We everybody on Asgard wiped clean the fuck out. That includes Thor's mom. And Odin, I think.
They weren't all wiped out. They all they all flew off. Heimdall is dead. Thor's mom's dead, yeah.
Thor's mom was dead. I think Idris Elba's character in that.
Heimdall.
That was duh. Jesus. All right. No, for some reason I was thinking of one of the other gods, the one that got stuck with the mistletoe that Loki shot at him. I was confusing those two. Anyway, okay, so they're dead. Right. Yeah. Now, a whole bunch of people died. You know what's really fucked up is that whoever did hire the Red Skull to watch the Soul Stone had like a hell of a talent pool by the end of Infinity War to pick from. What if Spider-Man was like, you know what, maybe I could, and then whoever was in charge was like, do you even pay taxes, you little shit? Get out of here.
why didn't they take the Peter Parker from Spider-Gwen's universe that turned into the lizard and and then he ended up dying? So why did they just take that Peter Parker and make him the Guardian of the Soul Stone?
That would have been pretty cool. Yeah, since we're dealing with like a cluster of entities that would hypothetically exists on a multi-dimensional nexus, right? Ben Parker would have been a good pick. I don't know. That could have been like 2 micro universe though, because of course.
I don't know. I came here for the Soul Stone. The guy just kept quoting like great power and some shit. I don't know.
Oh, it's such a good line. I had to give him the job. Fuck. I mean,
he's got a sweet Oldsmobile. Have you seen that yellow thing over there?
Old guy, come over here. Yeah, you in the hood. Walk this way. All right. Tell him what you told me. With great power comes great. Dude, isn't this the tits?
He's gonna say the thing. Go ahead, say the thing, man. Say it. Say it again.
Point is that like Thanos killed half the universe. All right. Well, here's a bigger sample selection from which to pull for somebody to guard the Soul Stone. Unless like the Red Skull was just there and he's like, no, unless you promote me, I'm not leaving this chair. Fuck it.
Because after the snap, because that's what I refer to it. Because fuck the blip. That's such a stupid name. I call it the snap.
Yeah,
that was like a big thing with me. It's like call it the fucking snap, man.
Well,
even though nobody knows it's the snap.
The reason they called it that is because nobody else was there to see the snap, so they couldn't. Right. They couldn't have like
the blip doesn't make any sense because people didn't blip out. They turned into fucking ash and just crumbled.
The blip was very try-hard to me because they were trying to turn it into something like how we refer to the pandemic as, something easily snatchable out of thin air. Oh, some asshole at Fox News probably came up with this. I mean, believable story.
It probably came up. Somebody from the press agency probably came up with this.
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with producers that have tried to get away with that shit before, but we don't let them get away with it. That's the thing.
We're gonna call it the blip, and we're gonna push it. And we're gonna push it around the clock. We're gonna put it on the crawl. We're gonna put it on the super. We're gonna say the blippening. The blip. Yeah. The blip has happened. The people have blipped.
And then the first minute, like Coda has an interview with somebody. So they're like, yeah, that moment where everybody kind of just disappeared. We just call it the vanishing. And she goes, no, it's the blip. God damn it.
You mean the blip? We're calling it the blip. It's the blip. I think you're referring to the blip. It's the blip.
It's the blip. Yeah. So Reaper.
That's what everyone else is calling it. Who's everyone else? That's what everyone's calling it. It's the blip.
Right. All right, Ryan Seacrest is getting uncomfortable. We're not referring to it as a blip. It's got to be the blip, okay? See, look, you made him cry.
Look here. You made him cry on Twitter. It's trending. It's the blip.
It's the blip. And then now there's a counter hashtag. It's not the fucking blip. Stop it. I'm sorry, hashtag. It's not the fucking blip. Stop it.
Stop trying to make the blip happen.
Oh, look, people didn't blip. It was a vanish. They turned into like
Nobody blipped.
That shit that flakes off of a starter log. It's what they all turned into. It's not quite ash. It kind of clings to the sides of the fireplace. You know what I'm talking about? Fucking whatever.
They all turned into charcoal and just flaked away like they're dandruff.
Where the fuck were we?
I don't know, but after an hour, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. We've already disrespected the Marvel Universe enough. So why do we keep watching the movies? Well, they're
because
sometimes
they might be good.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, we were going to talk about the villains and the MCU's
We have been
odd habit of casting the shit out of villain roles only to like tank them by the end.
That was a problem with Marvel villains before Thanos. Is like you're one movie and you're out. One movie, go on. Okay. Thanks for coming by. Here's your gift bag. Go away.
One dude, I'm still kind of bitter about this, even though I like most of the movie. Well, I like most of the movies, but this is one of the ones that I put up in the top 5 consistently. Doctor Strange. Okay. One dude didn't even get to become a villain, and I'm like, how do you put Michael Stolbarg as Nicodemus West? Oh, that's kind of funny. He's coming back to Nicodemus after all this time. Anyway, so how do you cast Michael Stolbarg in a hideous fucking wig that he had to fucking wear in that thing, and like not do anything with him except to be, I don't know, kind of chagrined at the main character's antics for about 5 minutes at the beginning of the movie? That dude's like a centrifugal acting powerhouse. And if you've ever seen him in anything, like he even stole the show in Men in Black 3, for Christ's sakes. But if you've ever seen him in A Serious Man or any of the other stuff where he's like allowed to actually hold center stage, it's like, holy fucking shit. This guy's like classic Hollywood given new flesh. I can't wait to see what like a major entertainment property could do with him. Well, they did Nicodemus fucking West with him, is what happens. Yeah. So that nobody...
Well, the one hope I give is they might bring him back because he was sent to Dormammu. He wasn't sacrificed to Dormammu. He was just sent there, and maybe he'll come back. It's not likely, but
yeah,
might come back in probably in like the 3rd sequel.
I don't know. It sounds like Sam Raimi's trying to do a whole lot with the second movie. So hopefully him and that's where like most of these rumors about bringing cross property or intercompany properties over into the MCU are coming from, right? The fact that the title of the next Strange movies, makes reference to the multiverse and such.
Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
Right. So it seems like he's not only going to be trying to like bring over, and let's face it, they're probably not going to be much more than cameos if it does happen. Not only supposed to be like bringing over like all these other actors playing the same characters from this particular version of the universe, but they're also, I think, trying to give other characters from Strange center stage a little more attention. And Mordru is supposed to be one of them because he was actually in the first movie and had more of a presence in the first movie. Stolbarg wasn't him, but I was like, God damn it. Ugh, fine. Be that way about it. But whatever.
Fine.
Yeah. I'm still going to go watch your decently at worst directed movie. Man.
Decent at worst.
I don't know. I mean, it could come back around to Iron Man 2. Something could slip.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. Never underestimate the power of failure.
Mm-hmm. People forget there is at least one legitimate turd in the MCU's portfolio.
2 if you can count the Incredible Hulk.
Actually, I think most people would count both Hulks in that dubious...
Well, the Ang Lee isn't officially part of the MCU.
Because that was back when Thomas Jane was still the Punisher. Yeah, I gotcha. I know. We can, but I don't know. What if Sam Raimi gets a weird one and is like, no, we're bringing back Banner, dude. Banner's going to happen.
Sam Raimi gets a weird one, like it's a weird Morning Wood situation.
It's Sam.
Oh, look, he looks down. Like, oh, look at that! I have a script in my lap.
It's Sam Raimi. This is the guy that cast Alfred frigging Molina as Dr. Octopus and made it work.
It made it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I like, okay, give him full reign. Do not interfere with what he's doing. Let's see what kind of madness you can give us. Sure, I'm all on board. I will sit front row for that.
Yeah, you remember the first casting rumors for the Green Goblin way back when?
No, I don't.
Most people were like, sorry, run that by me again. Willem, not William, Willem? Oh, David Lynch's Willem Dafoe? Okay. You're smoking something.
Jesus Christ, superstar guy? What the?
Yeah, bring it over here. And he made that work too. He's a magician.
Yeah.
So who the fuck knows? Who the fuck even knows? Sam Raimi's product is nothing but a successful string of weird ones. And that's all I'm going to leave that at. Anyway.
All right. Good. That's probably a good jumping off point. So that was pretty good. Corey, thank you so much for joining me tonight. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we were able to keep this pacing. I'm hoping we get to 100 episodes before the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's my goal. Get to 100 before Thanksgiving. How about that? Does that sound more realistic?
Was it really an issue? You were like, hey, can you talk to me about like some really insignificant, stupid shit while getting drunk? I'm like, let me check my schedule. Oh, I don't even have a watch to set a schedule with. I guess I'm there.
Well, we all have Google Calendar, but that doesn't mean we look at it. So that's going to do it for tonight. Yeah. Wow. That's going to do it tonight for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Are you at Slur O'Clock?
I'm afraid to stand up, actually.
Another 10 minutes, you'll be like oozing out of the chair, and then I'll have to lead us out, and you don't fucking want that.
No, I'm going to do my best, even though the room is moving on me.
Thanks for listening to the Cretins Guild.
Come on, actually try.
Try.
You're not even trying.
No, well, I don't have the rundown open. Hang on.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and I'll save you here because I got it right here.
All
right, we do have a link tree to all of our socials and other media can be found in the description, or just do a search on Cretins Guild because we're the only ones.
Can I read one?
What? Yeah.
Can you read the next one. All right. If you think we've given you $1 worth of content, then why not join our Patreon page?
Okay.
Why?
There we go. Okay.
Is it Patreon? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I got that. It's
fucking spell check, man.
I got rubber lips right now. The drink is too good.
Okay, start again.
All right. If you think
this is important, so make it sound good.
Lion face, lemon face. Here we go. If you think we've given you $1 worth of content, then why not join our Patreon page where supporters are sent stickers and now coasters, among other swag. Also able to have access to early uploads and some extra stuff we drop in from time to time.
Nice. Okay. You can do this. When you concentrate, you can do this. Or when you're not acting like a fucking doofus like normal.
Do what? What are we doing?
I don't know. Hey, if you want more of the kind of stuff that we produce, you have Square Pegs on YouTube. That is Jay's channel. Wow. Audio portion, that's going to sound great.
You enjoy cutting that shit up, bud. That's my gift to you.
Nope, not cutting shit. I'm leaving that in there. All right, and more of my nonsense on Skipper Bob's Breakdown on my YouTube channel. Again, the links will be in the description of this both this video and of the audio podcast. We have merch on tpublic.com that features the art of Tom Solo. Tom, thank you so much for saving our ass. Our lawyers assure us that the products are legally confirmed as gnarly, as they say. That's a current thing, right? What's a current thing I can say now?
Lit. Is lit?
It is our lead. Oh God!
Okay,
our lawyers. Bob, yeah.
Tell you what.
Yeah.
How about you let the professionals handle the rest of it?
Oh, please, yes. Go
okay,
right ahead, all right. Mr. Art Guy.
We have merch on tpublic.com that features the art of Tom Solo, the esteemed Tom Solo.
Yes.
Our lawyers assure us that that all. Whoa.
Whoa, okay.
That was a challenging line.
Road bump.
Yeah. Our lawyers assure us that all products are legally confirmed as lit.
Ooh.
We are part of the Podfix network, and to all of our followers, new and old, we say, welcome to the guild.
There we go. That's how we do it. Yes, thank you.
It's the liquid that helps.
That never hurts. That's damn sure. Okay, stop a red card. Yes, right there. I've had too many beers, that's for sure. Oh my god, that was awesome.
I always feel like I've lost some weight whenever we do the show by ourselves because I'm laughing so much.
Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that's how you, like, when you're working out, that's how you lose weight, is because when you exhale, you're exhaling, like, your lungs work extra hard, so like it burns calories that way, and you're exhaling the calories. I don't think calories are a physical thing. Maybe I need another beer to figure that one out.
Yeah. I mean, the more calories you have, the easier they become to recognize, correct?
Yeah, I think I'm like on the verge of like some kind of scientific fact there, but I'm not getting over that fence. I'm kind of like I'm hitting the crossbars. Like, okay, that's not it. Okay, I'm really close though. No, that wasn't it either. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Give me another chance. Give me another chance.
You are easily scaling the cognitive salmon ladder, as it were.
Salmon ladder. Why is that so funny?
Because it sounds like something kind of dirty, even though it's not. Well, actually, unless you keep them really clean, they kind of are dirty. But never mind. It sounds like something suspicious, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I'll give you that. Sure.
Let me see. All right, exporting it at 32 bits.
Woo-hoo.
Like we're living in a modern day society, and this is 92, right?
We live in a society. Say again, what?
This is 92. Well, it is now.
Yes, it is. It is 92. Applying noise reduction. I love my noise reduction. It's kicking in, but it takes a long time. Still going. It's still another 10 seconds remaining. Then I can save it.
Is noise reduction something I was supposed to put on over here?
Nope, that's something I can do. That's not really a big problem. It's not a big deal. It's something I've always done. Let's see. Let's file, and we are going to export as a wave because for some reason Audacity does not allow you to export as an MP3. I don't know why, but
doesn't it?
It does. Well, unless you have like a plugin. But
it's funny. Mine gives me the option to. Is that bogus?
You might have a plugin that I don't.
Huh.
But that's fine because it's always best to export and edit in WAV and then upload in MP3.
Now we'll explain a little bit why my last version of Audacity didn't have the 32-bit export option.
Oh.
Plug-in Orama. All right, let's go ahead and drop this into Drive. What time is it? 9:25.
It is 10. Oh yeah, you're an hour behind. Oh, guess what?
What?
Last week, was it last week? Yeah, I went to Magic Kingdom right before my passes expired for the summer, and I recorded. You know what? I'm going to end the broadcast.
Oh shit!
Little bonus for everybody. Hey, I almost teased something that's coming down the line. Yeah, too bad.